Good morning. Another update from the bunker on Sunday, the 26th of April. I'm not going to tell you what the weather is because it's fabulous, again, as usual. Hope you had a great day and a great weekend. And I saw a post up on LinkedIn and somebody was asking the question, what's the best business book you've ever read? And somebody came back and said, it was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, it's an interesting book. It's an interesting read. So the clue's in the title, I suppose. I prefer to read books from or by or about people that have actually achieved something significant or been through something or demonstrated something that's tangible and you can say that they did it, therefore it must work. Now just look at the background of Napoleon Hill. I'm not going to go through it, but you have a look, see what he did, how he ended up. And if you want to learn from something like that, then you go and get the book. It's absolutely fine. It's an interesting read. It's a work of fiction, but yeah, it's not one of my favorites. Now, if you want to look at good books for operations, I see a lot of people talk about operations and efficiency and productivity and business. If you're having trouble sleeping during this lockdown, this is a book you've got to get because this is required reading on MBA programs all over the world, was mine included. And anybody who's done the MBA, probably in the UK, will recognize this book. And here we go. Operations Management, Krajewski and Ritzman. It even had a disc included in it, which was a floppy disk back then, I think. But anyway, this is a serious book. Look at this. It's got tables and charts and algorithms and all sorts of things in it. It's amazing. It will guarantee send you to sleep. But it tells you all about operations. If you want to talk about operations management and efficiency productivity, do it from a place of knowledge and understanding with some material like this, not from Think and Grow Rich. Anyway, I'll talk about it now. Now, another book, if you go back to 1948, where did the new industrial age come from in terms of certainly for manufacturing and quality and TQM? And arguably, there's a guy who started it, and his name was Deming. And in the late 1940s, he went from the USA over to Japan, and he helped them basically reconstruct their manufacturing business. And what he said to the Americans was, before he went to the car manufacturers, for example, over in Detroit, it's no good just making cars. You've got to make good cars. You've got to make ones that don't break down, that are reliable and don't rust and fall apart. And the Americans went, no, mate, we're good, thanks. And they just produced lots of very pretty cars in the 1950s. Quality-wise, not quite so good. We've got an American car sat on the drive, a big Ford Expedition. We love it. It's a fabulous car. It's the biggest car on the road. In terms of quality, put it next to a Range Rover or Toyota Land Cruiser. It's bigger, longer, heavier, bigger engine, more thirsty, bigger, bigger, bigger. Is it better? No, not really. In terms of quality, it's just not really up there. I've replaced everything. It's not Trigger's broom. There's not much originally left on it, but anyway, we love it. It's a good hobby car. Now, the book that you should read to learn about Edwards Deming is this one. Very, very simple, straightforward. There we go. Edwards Deming, The Complete Guide to Quality Management. Again, it's a bit dry. It's a bit academic. But you know what? If you want to get some decent results and learn some real principles for your business, unfortunately, it's not always going to be crystal gazing and tree hugging and thinking about growing rich. It's going to be doing some fundamental basic principles in your business to get it moving. Something you can Google real quick to give you a bit of a heads up on Edwards Deming. Google his name, check out his 14-point plan. And it's a list of 14 things. So rather than read the book, if you insist, you just go through the 14-point plan. It's a single page document and do a bit of digging around it. Interestingly, on that 14-point plan, I think it's number 11. I've got it over on my other screen here. Number 11 is eliminate numerical quotas for the workforce and numerical goals for management. That's pretty radical stuff, isn't it? How many managers and leaders out there have to have KPIs and numbers or OKRs and TP cover sheets, all this sort of thing? We go by numbers. We measure people on their output. And what we should be doing is measuring them on the output, but not just the hours they do and the productivity, efficiency, and how many days they spend in the office. We've got to measure them on the quality of the output they produce, not just on the levels of input and tick boxing and filling timesheets in and quotas and things. It's just ridiculous. Most people sit in their offices for 40 hours a week, pretty much. How much of that time is actually productive work? It's been demonstrated it's no more than around about 35 to 40%. The rest of the time is spent thinking, chatting, eating, whatever, thinking, having insane meetings that mean nothing to anybody just because somebody needs to have a meeting to tick a box. So if you want to learn about operations, we've got a golden opportunity now in this lockdown situation to come out of it much more efficient, how many hours do we work and how many hours do we actually be productive with? That's the efficiency measure. And how productive are we with the hours we've got that we are actually working for? What do we produce with it? How do we get better output? We can be much more efficient, much more productive. And that's going to come back to flexibility, freedom, independence, trust, home working, flexible shift working, measuring on outputs rather than inputs, and learning something about operations management as well. So I recommend both of these books. First one, just as a reminder, is it weighs about 5 kilos. There you go. Operations management, strategy and analysis. How exciting is that? And it's got a floppy disk in it, and it's got a picture of a CD we could get as well on the front. So that's an interesting one. And the other one is the one Edwards Deming, 1948 onwards, the Deming Management Method, and also have a look at the 14-point plan for TQM, Total Quality Management, by Edwards Deming. It'll change your life. It'll change your life. But don't just think about Think and Grow Rich. There's a lot of these books out there, and I've read them. They're all on here. I've got them all. I've read them. They're interesting, entertaining. There are some ideas in them, some principles you can take away. But in business, we need to be a bit more fundamental and structured there as well. So have some systems and structure as well as the tree hugging. All goes well. So have a fabulous Sunday. I'll speak to you tomorrow on Monday. Stay away from people. Stay home. Stay safe. And I'll speak to you guys tomorrow.